You know how a $30,000 car can somehow feel weirdly reasonable? Not cheap, obviously, but reasonable, adult, practical even. You walk into a dealership or honestly just scroll long enough online and suddenly 30 grand starts sounding normal. The monthly payment looks manageable, the interior smells like achievement, the screen is huge, the seats are heated for reasons nobody can fully explain, and for a brief moment, you're not really buying transportation anymore. You're buying relief, progress, a little proof that your life is moving forward. And I think about this stuff way too much. My name is Threk, and I spend an unreasonable amount of time thinking about money, financial psychology, and why people make decisions that feel completely sensible in the moment, but quietly wreck their future in slow motion. Because that's the thing about a $30,000 car. It usually doesn't destroy your financial future in one dramatic explosion. It does it the way water damages a house, quietly, gradually, behind the walls. And by the time you really notice it, the cost is way bigger than the thing you originally agreed to. That's what I want to talk about, because if you understand what a car like this is actually costing you, not just in dollars, but in flexibility, time, and missed wealth, you start seeing the decision very differently. And honestly, once you see it, it's hard to unsee. The first problem is that people don't buy the car. They buy the payment. That's the trap. Nobody says, "I'd love to light $30,000 on fire." They say, "Well, it's only $540 a month," or whatever number makes the whole thing sound domesticated and harmless. Monthly payments are like financial makeup. They smooth everything out. They make an expensive decision look approachable. But your financial life doesn't experience purchases as marketing language. It experiences them as cash flow. And cash flow is everything. A $500 or $600 car payment is not just a car payment. It's a permanent little tax on your future. It changes what you can save, what you can invest, how much margin you have when life gets annoying. And life is always a little annoying. One surprise bill, one rent increase, one bad month at work, and suddenly that manageable payment starts feeling like a backpack full of bricks. Then there's the part people underestimate even more. The car is never just the car. It's the payment, yes, but it's also higher insurance, registration, maintenance, fuel, repairs, taxes, maybe interest, definitely depreciation, and the emotional tendency to spend more because once people buy the nicer car, they start supporting the nicer car identity. Better detailing, better tires, better everything. The car becomes this thirsty little machine that keeps finding ways to bill you for your own self-image. And that matters because depreciation is such a brutal wealth killer. You can work hard for years, save aggressively, finally start building momentum, and then pour a huge chunk of that momentum into an asset that drops in value while sitting in your driveway. That's the crazy part. You're not just spending money, you're financing the decline of something you already overpaid for. It's like buying an ice cube with a payment plan. Cold, clean, impressively stupid. And look, I'm not saying nobody should ever spend serious money on a car. Context matters. Income matters. Net worth matters. If you are already wealthy, if your savings rate is strong, if you're not financing your ego with borrowed money, that's a different conversation. But for the average person, especially someone still building an emergency fund, still carrying debt, still trying to invest consistently, a $30,000 car can hit like a financial anchor dressed up as a reward. That's where the future damage really happens. Because it's not just what the car costs you now, it's what that money could have become if you had kept more of it working for you. If that payment had gone into index funds, or debt reduction, or retirement contributions, or just building a life with breathing room, it could have started compounding instead of evaporating. That's the hidden pain of expensive lifestyle choices in your 20s and 30s. They don't just take money from your present, they steal momentum from your future. And momentum is incredibly hard to rebuild once you lose it. I think this is why people get defensive around car conversations, because the car doesn't feel like a spreadsheet decision. It feels personal. It feels tied to identity, status, comfort, maybe even dignity. You want to feel like you've made it a little. You want something that reflects your effort. I get that. Honestly, I do. But a lot of financial damage comes from confusing visible progress with actual progress. A nicer car is visible. Financial stability is quieter. Real wealth is usually much less cinematic than people expect. It looks like low fixed expenses. It looks like cash reserves. It looks like investing automatically every month. It looks like being hard to knock over. Nobody pulls up beside you at a red light and gasps because your emergency fund is fully funded. That's not how any of this works. But that quiet stuff is what actually changes your life. So, what should you do instead? First, stop asking, "Can I afford the payment?" Ask, "What is this payment preventing me from doing for the next 3 to 5 years?" That question is much honester. Second, think in total cost, not purchase price. Add insurance, interest, fuel, repairs, taxes, and lost investing potential. Make the full number ugly and visible. Third, buy a car that supports your life, not a car that auditions for a different one. Reliable matters, safe matters, affordable matters. The goal is transportation with minimal financial drag, not a rolling identity crisis. And maybe that's the deeper point here. A $30,000 car destroys people financially not because cars are evil, but because big fixed costs are incredibly powerful. They shape your month before you even live it. They narrow your options. They steal your margin. And once enough of your income is pre-spent, your future starts feeling crowded. So, if you're thinking about a car like this, pause. Not forever, just long enough to ask what you're really buying. Is it transportation or pressure? Is it convenience or delay? Is it progress or just the appearance of it? Because your financial future usually isn't wrecked by one dramatic mistake. It's wrecked by normal decisions that were just a little too expensive, repeated long enough to become your lifestyle. And the good news is, that works in reverse too. A few quieter decisions, a little less flex, a little more margin, a car that gets you where you need to go without eating your future on the way there. That can change everything.